Positive.
Positive.
All right, we in there.
Okay.
And we both got on green.
We do. I mean, I wear green all the time.
Word.
It's my color.
Word, I can tell.
Yeah.
Miss Green Book. Miss Theo with the green books. Dang, what's your last name?
Edwards Butler.
I knew it was two. I don't
It's
know
two
why I was
last
going to call you
names.
Theo Green Beckham. I don't know where that came from.
Oh.
You like Odell Beckham?
Not particularly. I don't have like any opinions about him.
Oh well. Never mind. I was gonna make y'all married.
Oh. A lot of people say my boyfriend looks like him.
Really?
He plays football too.
The hair?
It might be the hair.
That's the thing, bro. See how I connected that?
You did.
Yeah.
That's why you're good at what you do.
Yeah. See, man, I appreciate that, bro. Supposed to be hanging and everything, bro. I appreciate that right there. Made me feel good right there. Welcome to another episode of About to Blow Up Podcast with John Leon and friends. And today I have modern historian here with me today.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I work on intros a lot now too because I really ain't good at them either.
But that was nice. That was nice. I ain't never been called that before.
Yeah, you a modern historian. You bringing history to the moderners with the modern green book. A lot of people probably don't even know what the green book is, but I just found out what it was like 2 years ago.
Okay.
I was watching Killer Mike. He got a show on Netflix called Trigger Warning.
Okay.
And he was going to a barber. He was trying to live black for 24 hours. No, 72 hours. And he went to a barbershop. And he was just like, how do I do this, basically? Mm-hmm. And they just was talking about how he did it. And they talked about how they used to do it back in the day, back when they had Black Wall Street and all that. And he was just like, they had the green book for the travelers. Now, for the people that's listening, never heard of it, because I don't want to explain it, do you mind telling everybody what the green book was and then tell us what it is now?
Yeah.
For you.
Of course. So the green book originally, it started in 1936, so a while ago, right at like the time when Jim Crow era was like really, really big. There was a lot of segregation laws and stuff like that. So it was created by a man who was actually a postal service worker. So that's how he was able to travel around and find all these different locations because he was out delivering mail. And it was a travel guide. So it had barbershops, beauty shops, restaurants, hotels, swimming pools, beaches, parks, just like any place that a black traveler, whether they were traveling with family or for work or, you know, moving cross country, whatever, they could use that book to find like safe locations and, you know, avoid like embarrassment essentially. Because that's what would happen a lot of times. They would get to these cities and they might not have family there. They might not know anybody, so they didn't know where to go. And you pull up at a restaurant and they're like, oh, you can't use this bathroom. Pull up at a gas station. Oh, can't fill up your tank here. And so just really to avoid that embarrassment. And then in sundown towns too, which is essentially towns where if you black, you can't be out after certain hours or before certain hours. And so it helped them avoid those towns or just know like, okay, I'm in a city where we need to be in our hotel by like 6 p.m. So yeah, so that's what it was. And today I've kind of essentially took that same history and love for black business because it kind of grew into that. The original Green Book grew into kind of helping black businesses, and there was some white allied businesses in it as well too. So it wasn't just for black businesses; it was for businesses that were welcoming to black travelers. But today I've kind of flipped it on its head, and so our modern Green Book, which is this right here, I don't know, do I hold it up?
Yeah, it's right there for the camera.
Yeah. So today, and that's the newest edition, it is only black-owned businesses within this, and it's to help any consumer find black brands wherever they may be traveling to.
In it.
Yeah, so it's for people for travel. It's also for people who want to leave this in their homes and look it up for like online shopping and things like that. So you can find all sorts of different black-owned businesses there.
Oh, word. Look, you got your table of contents listed state by state.
We even have some international businesses too.
Word. So. Oh, I see that page 102. Word. Who comes up with the covers and how you gonna lay out the book and stuff like that? Because I know you don't want to look like the old one.
Right. So actually, a friend of mine, her name is Kennedy Street, which she has a new last name now. So if you were to look her up, she just got married. So congratulations. Yes, that's why we haven't had a book in a few months because She was off living her married life.
She married to a black dude?
She's married to a white man, actually.
Oh, she got a fire.
But she designs all the insides of our books, and then she specifically designs the covers of just this one. Word. But for these books, which are quarterly publications, so we kind of have like a magazine that comes out quarterly, and each one is about like a different topic or theme. I reach out to local artists or young artists, and they create the covers for those. Word. So this was designed by a high school student in Anniston, Alabama. Word. So yeah, and this was another high school student, and then these two were college students and like aspiring artists, and so we reach out, we pay them, we commission work for them. So
what made you get interested in this? Like the Green Book wasn't something we learned in school.
Actually, I learned it in school.
Where'd you go to school?
I'm originally from Kentucky.
Word.
Yeah. So but we also probably would not have learned it in school. Like, it was not in the book. It was just something that was brought up. Like, our teacher was just kind of cool. Word. And so he was just like, oh, by the way, there was this thing called the Green Book. Yeah. And that was pretty much all the history we got on it. It wasn't like a whole lot of like in-depth conversation on what the Green Book was, but I've always loved history. And I really love to shop.
You always loved history, or just Black history? Did it always stand out to you?
Black history has always stood out to me the most, but I do enjoy like all history. Like, I was like really, really into like my world history class. I was really, really into like my U.S. history class. I just think all history is very interesting, and honestly, a lot of times Black history is like a huge part in all of it.
What drove you to do this?
Well, I went to school for theater, actually. So
where'd you go?
Sanford.
Is that how you ended up in Alabama? Okay.
So I came here to be a musical theater student, graduated in 2020.
Congratulations.
Thank you. The year everything kind of
shut down.
Yes. And so I had actually some tours lined up. So I was supposed to be going on tour with the Children's Theater Company out in Missoula. I work for a Children's Theater Company now. I work for Birmingham Children's Theater. But I was supposed to go tour with them. And I had done this before, but this was the first time that I was going to do it like for a longer extended period of time. And I was like, ooh, I don't know if I can go all summer and winter without getting my hair done, without eating some food I want to eat, like all those things. And so I started finding businesses pretty much in the cities where I knew I was going to be going on tour. And when it shut down, I just was stuck with like this list of businesses. And I had a list of businesses from Birmingham too, because at Sanford, I was the BSU president. And so we put together like an expo.
Black Student Union?
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I should have specified that. But yeah, our Black Student Union put together an expo. And so I had this list of like Birmingham-based businesses and then like random businesses from like different states. And when everything kind of came to a head and it was George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and everybody was like, what can I do? How can I help? What can I do? What can I do? And I was like, well, if you're not the one to go out into the streets and protest, there's easy ways to like support the movement, and that's by supporting Black-owned businesses. And I released the list, and then I checked the list like a week or two later, and I looked back and there was like more states added, more cities added, more businesses. And I was like, ooh, I guess I should make this a thing.
What'd you release it at first?
It was just a Google sheet.
Word.
Yeah, it was a Google sheet. And then it was like all the businesses were on one. I still have it. I did not delete it.
What was on there? Was it just Birmingham businesses?
It started out as just like Birmingham with like a few, like I had some Louisville businesses listed on there too. And then, like I said, like 2 weeks later, like I had people like inputting all these California businesses. And then I got Canadian businesses and like Texas, like just literally like tons of states. North Carolina was one of like the biggest ones too. Like they had a lot. And then I was like, let me focus this energy and like organize it so people can really use it. And then I organized it on the Google sheet, and I was like, it's like a modern day Green Book. It's like that's how I like was like sharing it around with people. Yeah. And then people were like, you need to turn this into something. Yeah. And so I did.
Wow. How long did it take?
Hours.
Really?
Hours. I mean, it's data entry, so it was like, you know, and then I'm very big on storytelling because I feel like stories sell, you know, and so essentially I reached out to every business that was on that list. And made sure they were okay with being listed on it, because some people were just putting businesses there because they knew they were Black owned, and then B, to get them to like input their stories, input, you know, all of that stuff. And so yeah, it took a very long time.
Really?
And then I got the website up and going. And
you were all by yourself at first?
Actually I did. So I started it myself and then realized that it was a way bigger task. And I was talking to one of my best friends from back home, and she was like, well, I don't have anything to do. So she came on to help with like the marketing side of things. And so we kind of started doing it together, and then it got bigger, and she was like, this is a little too much for me. And I was like, that's fine. Just continue to support. And so she's still a really good friend of mine. She's no longer a part of it, but she really helped me with like developing the brand itself.
Shout out.
Yes.
Shout out.
Love her for that.
What's what do you feel? What made you feel like this was? Of course, you said it was going on during the, you know, we were all isolated watching George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and everyone wanted to see what they could do to help. But like, were you conscious about Black on this, Black on that before?
Oh yeah, my grandfather's was an entrepreneur. So when I was growing up, he owned a filling station.
What's that?
A gas station. It was
okay.
It was,
I figured that's what.
Yeah,
that was,
I guess that's like the old term. It's, every time we talk about it, it's like, oh, the filling station, the old filling station.
Yeah.
So he owned a filling station. He owned a hotel. He owned a barbershop and a beauty shop.
Really?
Or at least the buildings. He was not. He like rented the space out to those people. And so I grew up, and then we owned a farm, or we still own a farm. And so my first my first taste of like entrepreneurship was my granddad was like, all right, we're gonna go sell these eggs, because we just had chickens and eggs. And so I was like, we're gonna call them Butler Browns, and I made me little stickers and I put them on the egg boxes. My grandma would take them to church with her and like sell them to the people at church.
How old were you?
I was young.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to be like 7, 8.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then theater kind of took over, but I've always kind of been in like the social entrepreneurship space, so like helping others, because when I was in high school, I raised money for like arts organizations. Like I put together little cabaret shows and raised money for them. So I've always kind of been like putting together events with like benefits, or like putting together things that benefited something else. So
word.
Yeah.
So you haven't been in a dope space like this.
I try to be.
Are you one of the people you like to be on the stage, or you want to be behind the stage?
I love the stage.
Really?
I mean, I like behind the stage too. If I were going to be behind the stage, I would be a producer. Like, because I want to be like, I don't want to sound like crazy, but I like to.
You like to see your vision.
I like to kind of not necessarily be in control of everything, but I want to have my hand in so many different aspects of it that I feel like a producer would be the best option for me. If I were to not be on the stage anymore, I would be a producer.
Are you still in the being on stage?
I'm in a show. I'm in Dreamgirls right now.
Really?
At Red Mountain.
I'm going to see Dreamgirls.
You are?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you'll see me. I open the show.
I love Dreamgirls.
So
what are you in Dreamgirls?
I'm in the ensemble for this show, but I did Porgy and Bess with them a couple years ago, and I work for the Children's Theater right now, so I have a residency with them.
Word. I just got so excited about that.
You should come see it. It's been, we opened in what, like a week and a half, really?
What, Children's Theater?
No, Dreamgirls opens in like a week and a half. Yeah.
On the 3rd, yeah.
And so it's been really nice to be back in, because I've done theater, like children's theater after the pandemic, like that in between. I was actually supposed to go on tour with Paw Patrol Live. Really? Yes. And then when the COVID flare up happened again, they were like, we're gonna cancel it because the kids can't get vaccinated. And I was like, okay. And then it just, so I've been doing like children's theater, and I started working with the Birmingham Children's Theater like a year ago, and then I just got a residency with them this year. So do they record those children's theater performances? They do, but they don't necessarily put them like out for the public. They're just like archived. Yeah. Do y'all go back and watch them? It depends. On what? It just depends. Like, are they cringing for you to watch back? No, it depends on the show, really. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm very excited about the show I'm about to do with the Children's Theater. One, because it's a new work, so I'll be in the original cast of it, and we're working with a writer who actually just won an Emmy and all, like, so it's a really cool process. It's about a story that is based in Birmingham. So it's like, you know, I feel like it connects a lot to the city. So I'm excited about that. So I will rewatch that one.
Word.
But some of the other ones, no.
Yeah.
Not because I don't like the stories or because I don't like what they're doing. It's just like, no.
Not for you.
Unless, I mean, because I won't use it. Like, I won't put that anywhere, you know.
Where do you promote yourself as a theater and I don't know what to call it.
Like an actor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, on my personal page, I have like pictures of me in shows, and you can find videos of me singing and like all this stuff. So, but
you be singing too?
Yeah.
Girl, you don't be singing.
I do.
What you sing?
Like a little bit of everything.
You got a favorite artist? Who'd you grow up looking at? We can get back to this later. I done fanned out a little bit. I'm sorry.
Favorite artist, cliche, Beyonce. I mean, I literally grew up listening to like Destiny's Child and Beyonce, and then like, you know, but really, I mean, I grew up listening to Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson a lot. My dad is a big Michael Jackson fan.
My dad a big Prince fan.
Really?
Yeah.
My mom likes Prince a lot,
yeah.
and my mom and my dad both like Elton John. So I grew up in like that era of music, and then I love jazz music. So listen to a lot of. Do you like
newer jazz?
Newer jazz?
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of newer jazz, but I'm not very familiar with the actual artist. I think because I would like listen to it to like study or like listen to it to like work, and I'm not necessarily paying attention to who the artist itself is. I just like the music, but I do listen to a lot of old jazz. So like Billy and like Ella, like all of the like great jazz people, Lena Horne, I listen to all of them.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite stage presence? Anybody?
Favorite actor?
Don't want to sound smart. Same thing though.
Favorite stage presence actor? Yeah. Audra McDonald is my favorite. She's really good. Like,
I never seen her stage work.
You seen her in TV shows?
Yes.
I honestly have only seen like an episode of like her on TV.
That's the only reason I knew it. I didn't know a lot of actors came up.
I'm surprised you knew who Audra McDonald was, because I bring her up and she's famous.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of theater people really know who she is.
I love art.
That's awesome.
So I love
that.
But I've never gotten into theater because I never knew where to look. I just found out about Red Mountain Theater last year.
Really?
Really.
What'd you see?
I didn't see nothing.
Oh.
I drove by it. And I seen the Dreamgirls poster.
Oh, and you was like, I gotta go.
I was like, I gotta see Dreamgirls. But it was up for so long, and I was like, hey man, when y'all gonna put this show out? Like, I was stalking the page.
Yeah, it's Red Mountain does, you know, they do a predominantly black show like every February. So like so like every February they're gonna do another one. So like last year they did Once on This Island, then they skipped a year because COVID, and then the year before that was Porgy and Bess. So
what was it?
Porgy and Bess. It's like it's like an opera, really. But Audra McDonald was in the revival of it on Broadway. So, and she played the lead.
Word. So who else you like? I read Viola Davis's book last year. That's what made me like go back.
I really do like Viola Davis. I like listening to her talk about acting a lot.
Yeah, that book was, man.
And she's very, and I just saw Woman King like pretty recently.
I ain't seen it yet.
It's good.
Word.
A lot of people had like mixed feelings about it, but I liked it. I think because it was like female empowerment and then like black female empowerment on top of that. But I really like her. I really like who, the name just left me. Gosh, she's gonna be in like so many projects in this year alone. Like he was in Lovecraft.
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah. There you go. He's really good.
He was on the stage?
No.
Oh, okay. You just
I don't know. He might have been. I feel like a lot of actors kind of start.
Like I said, I didn't know a lot of them start like that.
Yeah, a lot of them start
like
James
that way. Avery from Fresh Prince.
Yes.
Uncle Phil. He was a stage. Yes. Yeah. That's why Will has always talked about when he was young and on the show, he always wanted to impress him because he did that.
I will say, you know, when you start in theater, you have a way easier time transitioning to like television and film. But it's way harder to transition from TV and film to theater.
Really? Why is that?
I think it's just the style is very different. You know, theater, you have to be big all the time. And some television and film actors have a hard time taking, because in TV and film, it's like the camera's right here, so it's like you can't be super expressive, or it just reads like kind of cheesy, or kind of like you're overdoing it a little bit. So sometimes TV actors and film actors have a hard time going to stage, but if you get trained in theater and then go to television and film, you do really well.
Really? You watch a lot of TV?
Oh yeah.
What's your favorite show now?
Well, obviously, I really like. I'm about to start watching BMF. That's a good one for me. I really am enjoying that a lot. I didn't think I was gonna like it that much, but I really am liking it. Obviously, I love Abbott Elementary.
Love it.
Love that show.
Yeah.
Love it. I'm like a big fan of pretty much anything Viola Davis does. So I've seen How to Get Away with Murder.
I'll watch that again.
Yeah, I watched it a couple times. Yeah, I mean, I watched The Rookie, and I'm about to start watching the Rookie Feds, like with Niecy Nash.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Are this gonna be like Reno 911?
The Rookie is kind of like, it's like an older guy who decides to join the police force. Mm-hmm. And that's what it's about. But it's like funny, and then it's like, I love crime, like true crime and all that stuff.
So it's serious, like that part, like the crime stuff is real. But I did hear it was kind of like also like funny.
Yeah, it is funny. I mean, because it's in LA, so it's like some of the crime is like kind of cheesy and silly.
Yeah.
But it's a good show. I like it.
Where you like movies too?
Say what?
You into movies too?
I do like movies, but I'm not gonna lie. I haven't really watched very many of them because I think it's so much easier to digest a TV show, and I hate sometimes watching a movie and then wanting the story to go on more, and then it stops. But with a TV show, it's like this: you get to
episodes,
you get like a lot of their
So where do you want to go? I don't want to. I really hate these kinds of questions, but it's just I'd be curious too.
Okay, go for it.
What do you like? What would you see? Where can you see yourself when it on the theater side?
Oh, I want to do a national tour. That's my goal.
What's that? You want to be in a show that travels?
Yes, but like, so you know, like when the BJCC,
when Lion King came.
Like when Lion King came, and like Hamilton will be here this week, I believe. Hamilton's here. And I have a friend who's in Hairspray on tour right now, and I have another friend
who's in... I know a guy that's in Hairspray. I don't know him like that, but I know him.
He's from here?
Yes.
Yeah. There's two people who are from like Birmingham, or at least the Birmingham area, that are in it. And then there's another guy I know who's in Anastasia on tour.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So is Broadway still the goal for a lot of people?
I think Broadway is always going to be the goal because it's, you know, when you get on Broadway, it's like you can really say that you've kind of like made it to the professional, you know what I'm saying? But those national tours are Broadway shows that are just taken out of the city, and you still get paid the same.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes more.
Oh, word.
Yeah. The money is good.
Really?
In touring shows, because you get like whatever your pay is for like just being in the show, and then they give you like a per diem so you can like eat. So you really don't even have to touch your money like at all, which is like everybody should want that.
That's good. Y'all should take Dreamgirls everywhere.
Well, Dreamgirls was like supposed to be.
Dreamgirls was on Broadway.
They were. I mean, it was revived on Broadway maybe like a couple years ago, like right before the pandemic. I think they were thinking about potentially taking it on tour and stuff because it was in London. So I don't know if you like knew Glee or remember Glee or anything like that. The TV show. Yeah. So Amber Riley, she was in the London cast of that show.
Word.
But I don't know what happened with it. I don't know if it was just like, because you know, like when it comes to Broadway shows and things like that, it's all about money at that point. So it's like if the show is not making as much money, then they're gonna shut it down. And so I don't know if it was a money thing or a pandemic thing, or like it just never really got to the point where they were able to produce it. I have no clue, but it didn't continue.
Dang.
But I feel like there's a lot of theaters doing it right now. Like Red Mountain is not the only theater doing Dreamgirls.
Really?
There's like others.
I'm gonna spend all my money going to see.
Well, I mean, they're in other states. They're in other states.
I love Dreamgirls.
But Dreamgirls is like a pretty commonly done show. So I mean, you probably see it. A theater is probably doing it like every 2 to 3 years. Another theater there's like a resurgence of doing it.
You've seen the movie before, right? So are the shows similar to the movies? Word, totally different.
It's not totally different. There's some of the same songs.
Okay.
Some of the same songs. There's a lot of different ones though, or the songs sound a little different.
So we're not gonna see like Jimmy Got Soul.
Oh, Okay. The
cool.
rap still happens.
Okay.
The
cool.
rap is still a thing. But I will say, and this might be unpopular opinion, but I like the movie more than the musical.
Really?
And I think I like the movie more than the musical because, you know, in the movie you get to see them go from like venue to recording studio to all of those, you know, like you get to see the locations and be in it with them. In the musical, because it is on stage, it's kind of hard to really capture that a lot of the times. And so everything is a little bit more abstract in the show. In
Dreamgirls, we all know that there was the scene where, or the time frame where the white musicians were stealing the music from the black musicians. I know as fans, we'll sit back and watch that. You might watch it and see a white character, but he played that role a little too good. If you ever came across that, when you actually on set with these people, and you got these white people, like they messing up the Cadillac song, you know what I'm saying?
I love the white people in our cast. They're really sweet, and they're all in college, which is like, so they're young. And so I think, I mean, they're good actors. They're great actors. But obviously it's always a little hard to kind of see that. Is it weird when you're acting it and you just like if you were in Django? Okay. Is it hard to come out of Theo and go into character? No. Really? Not for me, at least. I mean, I think at least for me, when it comes to like acting and stuff like that, I learned at a very young age like how to really like step into a different character and stuff. So it's not, as long as I do now, if I don't research stuff and I walk into a process like not knowing anything about who I'm supposed to be or anything about the show or the TV show or the movie or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like if I don't know anything about it, then it's kind of hard. But if I do my research and I do my homework before, then I don't have a hard time like stepping into another scene and then stepping back into like me after. Word. I always wondered, how do you do things like that without taking it personal? Well, you just have to know that it's a part of history. Okay. Yeah. That's the only way. Because, I mean, even doing like Porgy and Bess, which is like, it's a show about like a black community in South Carolina, and they're poor, and there is a lot of like racism. There's racism within the black community, and then there's outside racism that comes into the show as well. And that one is just hard too, because it's like you're sitting there having to like really kind of think about all the trauma that the black community went through and like the struggle, especially because that show takes place like in the 30s. So it was like the Great Depression and, you know, segregation, like all of that stuff is like kind of weighing on them. So yeah, I mean, it's hard, but I just have to realize that it's history and it's a story that needs to be told, you know? So you ever left a show and was like kind of heavy? What do you mean? Like you just felt, I don't know about you, but like if I watch Jim Crow, anything that had to do with segregation back in the day, I feel it. Yeah, I will say I watched Emancipation, the movie with Will Smith. And that was heavy. That was really heavy. That was probably like I hadn't really felt that way since I watched like 12 Years a Slave. Word. Like and I really didn't think I was gonna like the movie that much. I mean, I didn't like the movie. I liked the movie, but I did not like the movie. If that makes sense. Emancipation. Emancipation. Word. Yeah. Why? I mean, I think I've gotten to the point where it's like I've seen a lot of slave movies and I don't want to see them anymore. Was this another slave movie? Was it like just on court be just another slave movie? Or was Emancipation? Or was it a little different? Was interesting. I mean, I think I hadn't seen that perspective before. But it was really heavy, and some of the parts in it were like very hard to watch. But I still, again, it's like one of those stories that needs to be told, and the way they portrayed it. I don't know. I'm sure you've seen the picture of like the guy. Peter. Yes. Yeah. Have you seen the movie? Yeah. I haven't seen the movie, but I know the story. Yeah. So like it's his story, or at least what they fictionalized him to have done on that route to the army. Yeah. And so yeah, it's just one of those stories. It's like we hate to see it, but like it needs to be told, or we need to see that perspective. And it was redeeming at the end too, at that for him, because he made it back to his family and was able to reconnect and like all of that stuff, and that was beautiful. But yeah, I mean, it was heavy. It was hard to watch, and sometimes I try to steer away from stuff like that because I've seen it so much and been in a lot of stuff like that too, that it's like I would rather watch something light like Abbott Elementary or even the Wonder Years. I don't know if you've seen that show.
The Wonder Years.
It's like a remake. The old Wonder Years was about a white family. The new one is about a black family in like the 60s.
Okay.
And so it's like really funny, but there still has like moments of like dang.
It's like a new Good Times?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check that out then.
What's it on? It's on Hulu. Oh, it's ABC show, but it's on Hulu.
That's what I think I've heard about it from. Oh man, is that the one where I can't remember. I can't remember. I really can't remember. But I think I did see a preview for it with a black son. I think he did something happened in school and he was talking to his dad about what he should do. Something like that. I can't remember, but I think I have seen that.
It's funny. That show's really funny. But it like, I think I'd rather watch shows about the black experience like that than watching something. And to me, it's kind of hard to connect to those things because like I don't have anybody directly in my family that I can go to and ask them about those situations. Like I can go and talk to my grandmother about what it was like in the 60s or the 70s, and I can go talk to my parents about it. But like as far as stories about like slavery or even like early Jim Crow era, like early 1900s, it's very hard to kind of talk to them about. You know, I don't have anybody to really reference. So, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, let's get back on script.
Okay.
Because that was the fan in me. Like, I really do have a passion for art.
That's awesome.
Of all facets. Like, pictures, music, theater, all that. I never knew where to start when it came to theater, but I just was, like, watching movies and stuff. You know, like
theater's cool. You should explore it more.
I think I should.
Yeah.
I used to want to act.
And there's good theaters here in town.
Really? I used to go to the church theater when I was in elementary school all the time.
We did field trips all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I was definitely in those big school buses coming to the theater.
Yeah. Everybody's like, oh, I used to go. And I'm like, why don't you come?
I still go. I'll go watch the kid shows.
Come.
By myself. For sure.
Come. Let me know.
Bet.
Yeah.
What shows y'all working on now at the church theater?
Our Black History Month show is called Don't Tell Me I Can't Fly, which is about Della Wells, an artist. She's an artist.
Word.
And then they're doing Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And then we're doing Miss Fancy, Elephant Queen of the Zoo. And that's the one I'm in.
Word. What's the one you in?
Miss Fancy.
Miss Fancy.
So, I don't know if you saw, but there's like a statue in Avondale Park. Avondale Park used to be a zoo.
Really? Didn't
like
know that.
way back in the day. And it's really interesting how like, again, like history continues to like connect. But the Avondale Park used to be a zoo. And in the show, it talks about that. I mean, it's where it takes place at the zoo. And Miss Fancy used to be this elephant that would somehow get out of her enclosure and go roam around like Avondale and Birmingham. So there's all these stories of her like stealing pies out of people's houses and pulling up at the school grounds, and the kids would give her their lunches. But then it talks about too how the members of like the 16th Street Baptist Church tried to go to the zoo and like got the city involved, and the city didn't let them go because they weren't allowed. They're black.
Is that in the play?
They talk about it. They mention it. So it's
y'all already doing that one?
Say what?
Y'all already doing that one?
We actually start rehearsals for it in like 2 weeks.
Really? So when will it be out? Or do you know? Do y'all know?
It's like March. We open in March.
Cool. Keep me posted on that.
Okay. I will. I'll let you know.
Yeah. Okay. Back to the real business.
Okay.
Well, the other business rather. Forgot why I even left out. Okay. You referenced it a little bit earlier, but I want to hear more about it. And give me some names if you can too. But like, do you have a team?
So yes, now to give you a little bit of like background as to what we do. So we have the publications, and so I have a girl who designs the book. She doesn't work necessarily for me. She's like a contracted work. Somebody I went to school with, and then she does that. But we also do marketing for small businesses too. So I saw that was like a really big need. Because I was like, really, honestly, like, no tea, no shade. I was really tired of seeing black businesses like being so poorly marketed. And I was like, y'all need help. And I want to provide it. So we provide like very affordable marketing services for small Black businesses. And so I do have a girl that works with me for that. So it's like her and I, and then we just brought in another girl, and she kind of helps with sales and helps with getting more businesses to list with us. So she like will call, visit, email, get them listed with us, and then she helps sell our ad spaces.
What's their names?
So Kirsten Blakely is the new girl that we brought in, who does she's essentially like our brand and research manager. Mm-hmm. And then Nicole Bayless is our marketing strategist. So she helps on the marketing side of the businesses we work with specifically.
Word. So it's roughly just 3 of y'all.
Yeah.
Word.
Really, yeah, and it's really everybody kind of works on their like own too. Mm-hmm. So it's like I actually met with Nicole today, and like, you know, we met with a new client, and like we're sitting here talking, and it's like, okay, what do we need to do? And so we just like work on our own. So we just kind of set a top of the week list, and then we work on our own, and then come back.
I heard Killer Mike say one time, if we all do a little, then I don't have to do a lot. So yeah, it's cool to have a team like that.
Well, it's helpful because I think what the Modern Green Book is like so much more. You know what I'm saying? Like the big picture is like big. And I want to do so much more, but I realized that I cannot do it all myself. Mm-hmm. And that was hard for me because like when my friend left, I was like, well, you know, she was just really handling like marketing. Like I can handle it. I got it. But then, like, as we started to do more stuff and more things started to happen and we got more partnerships and, like, we wanted to implement more, I was like, I cannot do this by myself and with, like, the advice of, like, my mom or dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was like, I need to start building a team. So we have them working for us, and then we also, like, have ambassador positions and stuff open as well, too. And writers. We do have a writing team as well. I should say that. That's a big team. That's like, there's like 4 or 5 of them. Right. And they write all the articles that go in the books.
Really? How do people get in touch with you to sign up for any of this? So how do you get in touch to be a part of the writing team? Or
to be part of the writing team is all you have to do is just email your resume and like a portfolio or some of your work.
What's a good resume for you? What do you guys looking for?
I like to work with people. I like to give people opportunity. So I just want to look for something that's put together. Mm-hmm. Like I don't want something. You could have one thing on your resume, but if it looks professional and there's not like a whole lot of issues with it, then I'm pretty good to go on that. And then obviously I need to look at something you've written. And as long as there's not like a bunch of grammatical errors and spelling errors and it's a topic that you seem interested and passionate about, then I'll give you an opportunity.
Really? Mm-hmm. I need a job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come write.
I can write. I can read.
Okay.
I can speak.
Okay.
I do it all.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll work it out. We'll get the paperwork together. Yeah. You sign it. You get on our team. Write, speak, whatever you need to do.
What serious?
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Bet.
But yeah, that's how. So that, or you just like visit our website, mm-hmm. and there's like a little application.
Is it just the moderngreenbook.com?
It's moderngreenbook.net.
Okay.
Because the moderngreenbook.com was owned by some Chinese company.
Really?
And they would not give it to me, and it's not in use.
Wow. They wouldn't even let you buy it?
No.
See? That's why we got to get this stuff for them folk do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know what it would have been used for before. Mm-hmm. Because the website, literally, there was nothing on it. It was like just like a domain.
Yeah.
And they never got back to me.
That's all cool. Networking.
Yeah, that's why we chose net when I first started it. My friend was like, it needs to be net since we don't have anything else, and I didn't want .org because we didn't have that nonprofit side yet, and I knew that was the direction I wanted it to go, but I didn't want .org, so .net seemed to work.
Okay, how do you get in the book, Green Book? There's a lot of businesses out here. And everybody wants to be heard, mm-hmm. told about.
So it's easy. That. It's literally just an application online. Mm-hmm. You just fill it out, you upload your pictures, you press submit. There is a $10 membership, like one-time $10 membership fee, mm-hmm. and pay that, and then I just review it, and everybody gets accepted if you're Black owned.
Really?
I've literally only had like 2 or 3 businesses sign up that were not Black owned.
What if they Black owned but they got a white partner?
I'll let that happen. Okay. That's fine. Yeah. I don't have any issue. You have to be a minimum of like 50% Black. 50. Yeah, 50% black owned.
Really?
But it was like a spam. Like I get like sometimes I'll get like a spam business or something, and they'll sign up and everything, and I'll be like, what? And then I'll look it up, and it's just like some giant corporation that just like is sending out, you know.
What's the weirdest business that ever reached out to you?
I wouldn't even necessarily say they're weird.
I will.
I mean, we have like some adult businesses
cool
in here. But I wouldn't say any of them are weird. Like none of them are weird. Like some of them are just like not for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like some of them are just like not for everybody.
Give us a not for everybody business.
Like one of the adult businesses we have, I mean, I believe they make like sex toys like out of wood.
Whoa, for real? That don't sound safe.
I mean, they look really nice. Like they're like, I mean, they're like hand carved. They look nice. I mean, I don't know. That's not my cup of tea, but that is probably like the one business.
Oh man!
And because of them, I had to make a new category on the thing.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Just adult toys.
Yeah, it was just, well, it's just like adult. Like I just put everything in that. Like if you're a bar, you can go in that category. Like anything that's like 21 and up essentially goes into like adult. And I'm rethinking the categories too as we start to like get more businesses and like different businesses and stuff. But yeah, they were probably like the most obscure. Like one I was not expecting.
Yeah.
So. Do
you ever reach back out to people and be like, how did you hear about us? Really?
All the time. They get an email. Every business that signs up gets an email from me personally. Like I mean, I do copy and paste like the bulk of it, but it is coming from me. So if you respond to that email, then I like always respond back.
Right. Yeah, you were real quick with the responses when we was talking.
I mean, my phone and me, we're like.
Yeah, go together.
Yeah, we do. I mean, I hate to be that because I'm like, oh, I need to get off social media or like I need to put my phone down. But like that is the way I connect with people through that because we have businesses all over. I'm still able to keep up with businesses like out in California or like up in New York or Nigeria. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, I'm pretty quick with the responses. Like you'll usually get a response to me like within a day.
Word.
I try at least. Yeah.
Well, you do a good job of that, you know.
Thank you.
This wasn't hard to, because I talked to you, Thursday? Here we are Monday. Yeah. It's a good work.
And Mondays are like my only day off, really, from everything. And I still am not really off, but like Mondays are like, I don't have to go into any theater. I can be at home and work. And so I always am like, if we can get it done on a Monday,
so
we can do it.
What is the day for you? Like, a Tuesday. Are you doing greenbook stuff at rehearsals? Like, what's that?
Well, when I'm at the Children's Theater, since I am a resident artist there, part of my residency is to do marketing for them. So I do work with their marketing associate and like create content for them. But in the in-between time between like Children's Theater and like even Dreamgirls rehearsal, I do co-working at Polaris, which is a co-working space here in town, black owned in Woodlawn.
Wow.
And I go to them and I'll work on stuff. And then I'll go to rehearsal. And if I have downtime in rehearsal, then I'll work on stuff there too.
How you have time to date?
How?
Yeah.
I mean, my Mondays are usually like MGB days.
Word.
Yeah. So like everything I try to like get into Mondays. Like interviews, calls. I try to like get them all done on Mondays.
You said green was your favorite color?
Now.
Oh, okay.
Now, I mean, I think I've always liked green, but because of what I do, I like kind of make it an extra point to like go the extra mile and get like green clothes and green bags.
Yeah.
Green laptop cover. like a lot of my stuff is green. Like
your car green?
No.
Dang.
It's silver.
That's close. Change, you know. Money green, change silver.
It does. See? It does.
Yeah.
But my dad owns that car, so
okay.
I probably won't.
Don't even trip. You good.
He will be like, no, ma'am. So, but hey, my next car,
Green.
Probably.
Yeah. Green interior.
Ooh.
Leather. Getting a leather?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Facts.
I want a Volvo. I'm manifesting that.
You got it. Hey, I'm a manifesting hoodie on. This is actually from one of my homies.
I know.
Nia.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good folks right there.
We were in a pageant together.
Really?
Well, she had won the pageant the year before, so she was there to help us.
Really? Did Nia? I think Nia did tell me she did pageants. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I ain't gonna get mad at her.
Yeah. So she was like she like walked us through everything we needed to do.
Word. She good folk. I like her. Yeah.
Awesome.
What other services do you guys offer outside of the marketing and?
So the publications,
Cool.
I wouldn't necessarily say that's a service per se, but we do offer like marketing and advertising. So you can advertise like in our publications, you can advertise on our website, or you can advertise like on our social media, and there's packages for those. We do marketing services, and then we have a foundation as well. So we do, we actually just launched a grant this year.
Word.
So every quarter we're giving away $1,000 to a small business.
Sweet.
All they have to do is apply.
Where they apply?
Online.
Cool.
Everything is on our website. You can literally go to like our community tab on our website.
See, y'all make it easy. Y'all make it real for dummies over there.
Well,
like,
I wouldn't say.
I mean, like
for
you know
dummies.
you know what I mean.
But,
for dummies, you know.
Yes, but I will say, unfortunately, people do not read.
Yes.
So we make it very clear on how you can do it, because I want everybody to succeed. I want everybody to be successful. I actually had to email somebody the other day and tell them to redo their application, because I was like, let's be honest, this is not.
It's not ready.
It's not ready.
Yeah.
And I want you to be ready, because our applications are on a rolling basis. So if you don't get picked up this time, the next one, you can be considered again.
Where you get this helpful spirit from?
I don't know. I mean, my family is pretty. My grandmother used to run a community center. My mom used to teach cooking classes to like underprivileged students.
Wow, really?
So I think like everybody, and my dad is starting a nonprofit himself now.
Where? What are you doing?
So
Tell me about Pops.
All of that property my grandfather owned, he's turning it into a facility for young men transitioning out of the foster care system.
Wow.
So like 18 to like 23, 24 year olds, he's gonna like provide them with a place to live, set them up with like the school. So if you want to go to like the community college, and this is all in Louisville, and then he'll hopefully expand it as it grows. But he's using that property and turning it into those.
That's a beautiful idea. I never thought about that.
My brother and sister are adopted, so I think it kind of stems from that. And then the property was like, I mean, being like ransacked, and it was, you know, and it's in like the heart of like the Black community in Louisville.
Yeah. And
so he wanted something positive in that area, and so that was like his way to kind of do that.
That's dope. You got a dope family.
They're pretty
I only
cool
heard
people.
about a few of them, but that's a dope family.
They're pretty cool, and I barely scratched the surface on them.
But you tough. You tough on your own.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I respect what you're doing and everything you're gonna do in the future, especially with Dreamgirls.
Thanks. I'm excited. Come see the show.
I definitely will.
Oh yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah, you did. You say you got tickets. All right.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
in there. Yeah. Are there only small businesses in here?
So we have some like large. I wouldn't. When you say small business, like, what do you mean?
They ain't got no commercial. That's why.
I don't no, we have way. Like what is it? The Lip Bar is listed with us, and
the one from Shark Tank.
Yeah, so we have some businesses like that that are listed, and my boyfriend is actually like first cousins with the girl who owns Be Rooted, which is a stationery company. They're like in Targets. They're like in every Target you go to, you can buy it. It's like notebooks, planners, and stuff like that. So we have brands. Sure. We have brands like that. I wouldn't necessarily say they're like big businesses, but I also wouldn't say they're small businesses either. So we have that's probably about as big as it gets. Like with those, we have like just other companies that are just doing like really well, but they're still really only operated by like a couple of people. So
okay. When you hear people make comments about Black businesses often, if not all the time, saying that they're overpriced. They're charging too much.
I hear those a lot, but I always have to remind people too that Black businesses are not afforded the same luxuries as majority owned businesses are, and to be able to afford the products that are cheaper, one, you're already foregoing having a quality product, and then two, sometimes getting a cheaper product means spending more money on the front end, and we don't have that type of luxury. And I never really mind spending a little bit more at a Black owned business, because a lot of times it's made by that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are taking the time to like look at everything, write everything. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I do hear those comments a lot.
I never minded either, because I know how much I spent on a Nike shirt before.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
So I don't complain about that.
Like, the amount of money that I think people forget that we spend on big brands like Nike and Adidas and stuff like that. I mean, like, people are dropping $400 on a pair of shoes.
Right.
Those are not Black owned. You know what I'm saying? And then, so I never complain. Like, I got this sweater from a Black owned boutique here in town.
Where? Who?
Flo. She's
down
in the it's called Uptown, City Walk.
Yeah, we know Uptown.
Yeah. So she's down there. She's literally like a doorway from K&J's.
The elegant pastries. Yeah.
So I mean, but I'm used to shopping like boutique prices. So when I walked into her store and I saw like a $50-$60 top, I was like, oh, that's normal. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes we have to, as Black consumers, have to shift our focus and have to remind ourselves that their prices are not really expensive. It's just that we're not used to shopping in those experiences, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel.
You're right.
Well, but I spend good money on Black businesses. I buy from Black businesses literally all the time. So
me too.
I try at least. I try my best.
I became a lot more conscious about it in 2020.
I think everybody did.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
I even brushed my teeth with a Black-owned toothbrush.
Gardeners Garden? Oh.
What? What was
Gardeners?
that?
Garden?
Oh,
okay.
Coral Oral.
Okay. I think I've seen that before too.
They're based in Atlanta.
Word.
Yeah. Or Georgia. They might not be in Atlanta, but they are in Georgia. They're very nice too.
I use the Gardeners Garden tooth powder. They don't make paste, but powder.
I see. I can't use I don't know, something about it. Like, I just.
It feel funny?
Yeah, I don't know. I've tried it like once before. I've also tried the toothpaste that's like comes in like the little like tabs type things that you chew up and then brush.
Couldn't do that.
No.
I don't got that kind of.
Maybe it just wasn't the taste. Like, maybe it was the taste.
What does it taste like? It taste minty?
Maybe it was the texture.
Okay.
Yeah, it might have been the texture.
Okay, cool.
But I do use Coral Oral toothbrush and like their floss and like all that stuff.
Word. They got toothpaste too?
I don't think so. I have to go back and look.
Word.
I think I have like a subscription. So I get like toothbrushes like every like few months.
Really?
From them.
That's right, because you're supposed to replace your toothbrush.
And I did not know that until I shopped with them, and they were like, no, you're supposed to like replace your toothbrush like really like probably like once a month.
You know, I had a homegirl that said she did it once a month. I thought it was weird, but I was doing it every 3 months.
Yeah, I think right now I'm about at every like 2-ish.
Oh, okay.
2.5, 3.
Don't nobody be on here judging either, because
really,
you probably ain't change your toothbrush either.
I know.
Yeah.
I feel like some people keep their toothbrushes for like a year, but like that's
I know some people. I just find out a lot of people don't have a lot of good hygiene tricks this past couple of years.
Yeah, and I mean, I really did not know that until I was on their website.
Yeah.
And they were like, we have this subscription because you're supposed to like switch it out. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Make a lot of sense though.
It does. I mean, it does.
Yeah, because a lot of people, some of y'all don't even change out toothbrush unless y'all get sick. And y'all need to stop doing that.
And I think I was like that, like in college.
Hey,
like I'd be like,
hey.
But I'm better now. I'm better now. I learned.
Okay, cool.
I learned.
And we can forgive you now.
Thank you.
You got great teeth.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You ever had braces?
I did, and then I was stupid and forgot to
return them.
Well, I had a bottom one, and then the dentist broke it off.
Oh, you had the one that they put in?
Like the one that's like like permanent on the back, and the dentist broke it off. And
really?
I think I waited too long to go to the orthodontist to get it replaced, so I never got it replaced. But I've never had a cavity.
Really? Man, I was like that up until high school.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never had it. Let me knock on wood, right? Because I've never had a cavity. I think it's because in Louisville they have like a bunch of fluoride in their water.
Really? It tastes different?
It tastes good to me. I like Louisville water.
Tap water.
Yeah, I like their tap water.
Cool.
And I don't really like tap water from a lot of places, but Louisville has really good tap water.
I like water.
I love water, but I'm very specific.
I'm a hose pipe drinking dude.
I mean, I've done that, but there's a very distinct taste.
Hose pipe water tastes the best.
You know what water tastes the best?
What?
You ever tried 1186?
Nah, I don't even know what that is.
It's black owned.
Really? Oh, okay. Let me get on my grind then.
Yes.
Black owned, 1186.
Yes, and they're based here in Alabama.
Really?
I could not pronounce the name of the town, but they're based here in Alabama. Book. Actually, I think they listed, this is the old one. That's like they listed, I think, after the date. So the deadline to list every year is like May 1st. And so they probably will be in the next edition.
So do you have a black owned, can you live 72 hours black?
I think maybe.
You should go watch. You should go watch Trigger Warning. Okay. And go watch how extreme he was.
Okay,
I ain't gonna say too much because you might look at it and be like, I don't know now.
Okay, I'll go watch it. What's it on?
Netflix.
Okay, I'll go watch it.
Trigger Warning by Killer Mike.
I think I could do, but I mean, it's a lot of work.
It is.
It is a lot of work, and that's why I started this, because it was like people were having a hard time being able to find them.
Exactly. That's one issue that I've seen. I think it was Nur Muhammad. He did an interview. You know, the black dollar stays in the community 8 hours. So if you get paid Thursday, you get paid Friday. That means by the time you wake up, you spent your money with a white or whatever other race company.
Yeah.
Right. But I had a homie of mine, his rebuttal was, he was like, I agree, but my rebuttal is we don't know where to find these companies.
I think it's a combination of we don't know where to find, and then also like what you were saying before is like people think that black-owned businesses are too expensive or not as professional. And that's why I started the marketing side of it, because there was like this huge stereotype of like black-owned businesses like not being professional or not looking, and people don't want to spend their money with businesses that don't look good. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why we all go to like Nike and Adidas, because they have this cool aesthetic and
all the lights and
you know what I'm saying? And it's like small businesses and black-owned businesses can have those things for very low cost. Right. It's just you have to put in the effort, and I think a lot of times, unfortunately, small businesses don't have that. They think it's so expensive to do marketing, or like people are just gonna come, and we have to like get rid of that mentality.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, it is hard. I mean, I will say some of the toughest businesses to find that are black owned are mechanics, plumbers, electricians, all of those. Like any type of like service based business, they are so hard to find because they're not really on social media. It's like every time I've ever seen a mechanic in my life was because like my dad knew them. You know what I'm saying? Same. Like it was like like somebody knew that person. Like it was never like we found them online. It was like, oh no, they did so and so's house, so they're coming to do ours. Yeah. So like those are the hard ones to find. Yeah. So I will say sometimes it's hard to find. Sometimes it's like a lack of wanting to like try it. Yeah. Sometimes I think it's also a lack of trying to find. That too. It's convenient to go on your phone and be like, let me get a Nike shirt. Real convenient to do that. Real convenient to go to the store, go to Walmart, right, and find what you want to find. That is very true. So a lot of people don't put in the effort. But that's why we got the modern resources like this, and there's other resources too. It's not just us doing it. We Shop Black. Yeah, I know about that one. And like Official Black Wall Street is another one. Really? There's tons of different like. Did you know about those prior to starting my greenbook? Yeah. Okay. I did, and I got a lot of people saying, "Don't you know that this exists?" And I was like, "I do. I knew they were there, but there's tons of the same types of businesses.
It's a lane for everybody.
And also, I feel like each one is doing something a little different. Like we have that history aspect of it, and like trying to really kind of pull our roots and explore what Black businesses are on like a travel aspect and like a exploring what's in your area or wherever it is you're going. And they are like some of them are a little bit more corporate, and like they have that kind of corporate side to it. Ours is very like organic and very,
Right.
So it's like everybody has their own lane. Everybody's doing similar things. I mean, there's so many different t-shirt brands out there. There's so many bread companies out there. There's so many, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of like the same things, but everybody's doing something just a little different.
Word. Awesome. I kind of wrapped into what I was going to ask you next. My second to last question. What message do you really want to get across from starting the Modern Green Book?
Really, like what we were saying, like it should not be hard to support Black owned. Mm-hmm. Like it should not be something that's difficult or something that is I don't think nuisance is the right word, but I do feel like some people think of it as like, oh, I have to go out of my way to like support, and that's what I want to change. Like I want to change that mindset, and I want to make it so everybody feels comfortable and confident with supporting Black owned, because I do also feel like even some of our white friends are like, well, am I allowed? Like, is that for me? And I'm like, no, it should. Like, we shop at your businesses all the time. Like, y'all need to come and turn it around and come support us. And so I want it to really, like that's, it's just, I want people to be able to know that like supporting Black owned is for everybody, and it should be like easy to do. Word.
Awesome. I say that was my second to last question, but I actually forgot my last question. And that really sucks because I had it in my head for like 10 minutes.
Dang.
Yeah.
I was talking too much.
Nah, it was really because everything you were saying was just it rounded around real good. I was like, when I get to this question, it's going to hit. But I didn't want to cut it off. It was a good question. I can't remember.
Dang.
Whenever I think about it, though, I'm going to message you and I'm going to post it on my story. And I'm like, this was the one, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. It really wasn't even that good of a question. But it's a question. Where do people find this? And how do they get in touch with you? Period.
You can find us we're the most active on Facebook and Instagram. Well, Instagram and Facebook, if you put it in like order. But it's just the Modern Green Book, or you can find us online at moderngreenbook.net.
Word.
Super easy.
Which one? The new one? This one?
This one's the newest one.
Newest edition to the Modern Green Book. I think they can see it.
Yeah, that camera's really good.
Yeah. And it's a Black owned studio.
It is.
Yeah.
It is Black. They might not be listed, and I don't think they are.
Yeah, I get my boy Mike in here.
But I love how I can just do this, because then I can go with people and show them that they're not in here.
Yeah. I should have. I wish I knew, but I started.
I think Vibe Street is. I think Vibe Street might be in that one.
I remember. I mean, I wish I knew about this before, because I got a business too.
Well, the deadline is the third edition comes out in June, July.
And you just said it was $10 to get in? Mm-hmm. I'm in there. Shout out to Extra Mile Media and Entertainment, Outdoor Entertainment. This is my favorite restaurant right here, Your Mama's.
That is where my boyfriend and I had our very first date.
Really? Mm-hmm. Smart man. Knew you weren't going nowhere after that.
And that's also where my family and I, when we first visited Sanford, that's where we went to eat.
Word, and that's what sold you right there. I already knew it.
It
got
really
chicken and waffles, didn't it?
I did not. I got shrimp and grits.
Word, you got chicken and waffles? You ever had chicken and waffles?
I've had chicken and waffles, but I don't really. It's like too much bread and stuff for me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He gets chicken and waffles about every time we go, but I get the shrimp and grits.
Your boyfriend a smart dude.
He is. He owns a moving company. It's in here
too. Moving company?
Mm-hmm.
Word. I was gonna do that, but I don't like moving.
It's a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie to you. And then he plays football on top of that, so it's like.
Word.
It's
Where did he play football at? Sanford.
He played at Sanford, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then he's free agent right now, but
Word.
Yeah, it's a lot. I do the marketing for that too.
Word. Shout out to him, man. Got a good one on the team, the one that matter. I appreciate you pulling up, Theo.
But get listed.
I will get listed. I get listed, and I'm definitely gonna. I was just gonna say I'm gonna tell everyone else.
And apply for the grant.
May not be watching. Yeah, I gotta get the grant too. I gotta get the grant. $1,000 grant.
It's $1,000. Well, at least right now it's $1,000, and we have sponsors who are interested, but I'm just waiting to see. So this very first one is gonna be $1,000, but as we continue to grow, and the more people who support, the more we can give.
We in there then. Shout out to the Modern Green Book. Shout out my new friend Theo over here. That's finna hire me as soon as we cut these cameras off.
Yes.
And y'all go see Dreamgirls with me next month.
Yes.
Yeah.
February 3rd through the
19th.
Yep.
Yes, I'm in there. I'm locked in.
Get your tickets.
Get your tickets. See y'all soon.